Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Very excited to have you here. So tonight I was actually listening to a video on the channel Surreal Minds, and it was Carl Jung was talking about psychic imprisonment, and actually brought up a memory. It was a little while after Greg had passed away that my kids had come to me and told me, we think you're limiting yourself by, using the phrases, I'm not ready yet, I'm not, just for doing different things. Now, granted, everybody has their own, there's no set trajectory for grieving or healing or anything like that. So, I mean, absolutely take as much time as you need to heal. But, do yourself a favor and don't limit yourself when it comes to these things, even just taking baby steps is baby steps in the right direction. Understand that you are allowed to take time to heal. You are allowed to, and in fact, you deserve it. You deserve that time to heal, to grow, but just don't hold yourself captive in the mindset of, that's just the way that I am. I mean, like I've told my kids before, the world needs you because no one can experience, or no one has experienced what you've experienced the way you experienced it, and no one can understand or express your experiences the way that you can, but don't limit yourself. Another thing that I've always told my kids is that you can be whatever you want to be, but you will only be whatever you don't want to be, or whatever you're not willing to be, we'll put it that way. So, I mean, keeping the mindset of that won't work, then it won't, I can't tell you how many customers I've told that are buying lottery tickets, and they're just like, well, I'm not going to win. And I usually say, well, not with that attitude. You never know. The world is full of possibilities. It's full of things that you are not expecting. Just because something has gone the way you've expected it to before doesn't mean it's going to again. You've got to take into account the human variable. People change. They're able to change. One of the things that he said in the video was, why is it that everyone else is allowed to change but you? That's keeping yourself hostage. That's keeping yourself from growing. And, it's very hard to do. Now, you do have to understand that not everybody's always going to be on the same level that you are. I've had to come to that understanding many a times. I've had the mindset a lot of times of, well, I've done it, why can't you? But that's not fair. Essentially, you just have to let people do things in their own time, but also you have to love yourself enough not to let people hold you back, having understanding with them, knowing that people will reach things in their own time is okay. but you also have to have the understanding sometimes that their time is not yours either. You know, just because people have been able to heal, you know, in a certain amount of time doesn't necessarily mean that you will. And that's very hard truth for me to grasp sometimes. Not gonna lie. It's I mean, it's been 5 years since Greg passed away, you know, and it's still not something that, you know, I'm completely healed from. Probably never going to be. You know, he was my husband for 10 years, and I loved him with all of my heart. I trusted him with every part of me. You know, we had such a wonderful communication and such an incredible relationship. That's not easy, you know, to, I mean, really heal from losing that. You know, it's still not. But I don't have the idea that I will never find love again. Because I did find Russell, I did find Dusty, you know, and I did find Daz. So, call me the hopeless optimist, but I do still believe in love, and I'm happy for those who have found it as well. Because I know sometimes in life, that's not something that everybody gets to experience. So I'm very grateful that I have been able to find it many times. I guess maybe that's what keeps my optimism up, you know, is the point that it wasn't just Greg, it was the others as well. So, you know, I believe that there is somebody out there for everybody. Sometimes there's more than one somebody's, you know. I remember that that part in the movie Ever After when he's talking to Da Vinci, and he's talking about, you know, so that idea of soulmates, you know, well, what if, you know, it's supposed to be her or her sister, and they're standing right next to each other, and just because I meet her sister first, you know, was that my soulmate, or was her other sister? And sometimes, you know, that kind of comes back to the idea of surrender, you know, understanding that things are going to be the way that they're going to be. But don't limit yourself and don't sell yourself short. You know, have faith in yourself that you are worthy of happiness. You are worthy of greatness. I read an article the other day, I believe I talked about it in another video before, but about how sometimes we can be the saboteur of our successes, because a part of us is afraid of happiness. It's afraid of success, because that's unknown to many of us. Many of us get caught up in the, you know, constant struggle and the survival mode, that it's hard for us to conceive of anything better, just because we've become so comfortable in it. But we are worth happiness. We are worth success in life. Trust me, that's something that I struggle with constantly. You know, I was always, I always had this block in me, well, especially when it came to money. Because of what I went through when I was a child, I had this concept of not liking money because it was greed, essentially, that drove my parents to do what they did with me. And so but I have to understand that, not just like the concept of, elephants are gray, but not everything gray is an elephant, greed requires money, or, seeks out money, but not everything with money is greedy, So that's a concept that I kind of need to change, which, I do think Melissa was part of the, oh my gosh, was a part of Aaron Dowdy's crew in the challenge that, or not the challenge, the course that I took on Facebook. And she definitely opened my eyes to the blockages that I have with money, and kind of helped me understand that this is a concept that I need to work on. It is a concept, or it is a blockage that I need to eradicate from myself. And I'm working on it, And Rome wasn't built in a day. No change happens overnight. But as long as you make those baby steps towards the right direction, don't hold yourself back with that limiting belief of, well, this is just the way I am. Because everybody can change. Everybody can grow. Everybody can learn. Those who don't learn from their mistakes are destined to repeat them. But also, those who don't learn from their successes might not repeat them. So, a lot of it comes from just keeping an open mind and having faith in yourself. I mean, look at everything that you've already survived. And it's one of the things that I'm almost grateful for, the hard life that I've had, is because, if anything, it's taught me I am strong. And there are so many things that life can throw at me that I will survive. And so will you. You're strong too. You have that ability. So please, show yourself how great you can be. Show yourself how strong you can be. I'm not saying betray yourself. Absolutely not. I'm saying let yourself grow. Let yourself thrive. Let yourself be happy. You do deserve it. Thank you.